Ellie. She's working with Grandma Phyllis, and they're going to make lefse.
Not real hard on it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it don't stick.
That works. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightly.
Oh no, I found it.
It looks like a baby one, doesn't it?
Oh, that's working.
Just do it really quick so it can. Otherwise, it's gonna be nice and
It's
warm.
okay. I'll just. It's like clay. Remember back. Remember the olden days of a single shot.
That wasn't very long ago.
Feels like it.
It does. Oh yeah.
It was a single shot. It was like
So Phyllis, who taught you to make lefse?
Kurt.
Kurt did.
Yeah, Grandpa.
The Norwegian taught the Irish woman how to make lefse.
Yeah.
Mom, how come you got red hair? You're not Irish.
No, I'm Swedish.
Oh. Oh. I know someone who's Swedish from TV. And she's not a real person, but you know.
So
Amy
Phyllis, you were
Farr.
telling us a little bit earlier how you use the like the slats from the window shades.
Yeah.
This is good, right, Grandma?
That's what we used to turn it. We didn't have fancy sticks.
Right.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Grace, I'm gonna have you come up and get your second one.
So I do this.
Yeah, roll it slowly.
And this is, yay,
Family business.
family business. Yep, this is Grandma Phyllis and Grandpa Kermit's lefse griddle.
This one's ours, right?
Yeah, we own one too. There it is. Once you fill out the chart, you can.
Well, how do I know when it's ready? Oh yeah, check like
You
that.
gotta wait a little while and it kind of bubbles up and stuff.
Brianna, I have a big one too. I think mine's just a little bigger than yours. Just a little.
Yeah.
So Ellie, tell us, do you like lefse?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? What do you like in your lefse?
Cinnamon, sugar, and butter like every other cool person in the world.
Yes.
Oh, Brianna, you're doing both? Like
So Ellie, what kind of holidays do you have lefse at, Ellie?
Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all the. And that's and the sometimes birthdays. Not a lot though. So that's
Easter.
Easter.
Ellie and all
Lots
the
of
Ellie,
big holidays.
and all the above.
That'll be above, yeah.
So Ellie, if you could ask Phyllis,
Try again, I'll see.
Can I?
There you go.
Help me.
okay, is it ready?
I got.
Oh, it's all in the wrist.
See, it comes down from the family business. Raise your hand if you like.
So, Ellie, if you could ask Grandma any question about when Grandma was working up, what would you ask her?
Growing up,
Yeah.
what was World War II like?
What was what?
World War II like? She's not.
I didn't understand.
What was World War II like?
Slow down.
World
Ellie.
War II. Well, I was 11 years old when they declared war. All I knew was I was really scared.
Did you have to like? Did you have to like hide a lot in your house when you?
And then
Was it bombing?
we didn't have electricity at our house, but we had an old radio, and it had batteries in the back, and the wires we'd have to go back and wiggle the wires to be able to get the news. And so I had my uncle that lived with us, and he was about the age where they were drafting all the guys to go to the war, and I was so afraid for him. And I'd lay in the bed and look out the window when the mail came, and when he'd read the mail, and I'd look to see if he looked scared, if he got his letter that he had to go to the war.
Oh.
But I was scared. That's all I knew, because we couldn't see it on TV or knew what was going on like you can nowadays.
Were you ever bombed?
Huh?
You know, like, was your town ever bombed? Was like Fisher, the East Grand Forks bombed? ever.
No.
Oh, that's
You
good.
have like a bomb.
I think, Ellie, is yours done?
No.
I think it might be Ellie.
Otherwise, you can slide it on that one, and
Doesn't seem like it.
then you can put yours on this
So
one.
I just do this?
Here, Ellie, I think you're done. Put it on there. No.
It's done, honey.
It's done, honey.
Jeez.
Put on there, and then you can put butter and then whatever toppings you want.
Can I cut it in half?
It's up to you. Alrighty.
Oh, come on. Stop. I'm going to brand it. Like cow.
Okay, Nick. Go ahead, Nick. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Mrs. Brickson, so you get my next one? No, don't ask. There's people. No!
We'll get it. We'll get it.
I know.
So, Ellie, what do you think? What's your favorite cinnamon sugar?
I've never tried sugar before, so.
It's an experience.
Alrighty. So, this is what I want you to do, Ellie. I want you to go by grandma.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me roll it up, and then I can like start eating shot.
Okay. I want you to roll it up. I want you to go by grandma.
I'm gonna try the sugar first.
You can press it a
Oh
little
my
bit
gosh.
harder.
Okay, Ellie, quickly.
Okay.
Flatten out good for you.
Okay. Okay, go by grandma. So, Phyllis and Ellie, can you go together? Ellie, just nice. Just nice. Smile. Alrighty. Thank you very much.
Not bad.
Not bad? So here we have Phyllis Brickson, who is, again, my husband Pat Brickson's mom. And she's here to make lefse. And guys, did she do an awesome job? Fantastic job, yeah? Very good. Right? She did a fantastic job, didn't she? Yeah. And here's some of all of our signs. Awesome. Okay, so Phyllis, I take a moment and we're going to just ask you a few questions. So now you tell us a little bit about Phyllis. Where did you grow up and what school did you end up going to?
Okay, I lived on a farm, and I went to a country school. It was maybe like 3 miles from where I lived. And I had a teacher named Miss Duffy. She had red hair and freckles. And you know, when it got to be winter, I couldn't go to school because the snow was so high, and the old car wouldn't go because the road was always flooded. So the teacher would come over to our house, and I can remember when I was in 1st grade, sitting on her lap, she was teaching me how to read. And I just loved her. She was so sweet. And then when I was in the 2nd grade, my mom decided that I should go to Catholic school. So I went into East Grand Forks and lived at my aunt's house and went to Sacred Heart. And that was really nice because we had all the sisters were our teachers and stuff. But I was really lonesome because I wanted to go home out on the farm where I grew up. So then I got to go home because I cried all the time. And then I stayed out there and I went to school in Fisher till I was in the 7th grade. I could go on the school bus. I have to walk a mile to catch the bus. And the first bus that I went on, it was just square, orange bus. And they didn't have any heaters in the bus, but they had charcoal burners that we put our feet on. They were just little squares like this, and they had the charcoal burning in them, and you just put your feet on there to keep your feet warm. And so then when I got in the 8th grade, I went back to Sacred Heart, and I was really happy because I knew all the kids from when I was in the 2nd grade. And then when I was in the 9th grade, I had to go to St. James Academy, which was over in Grand Forks, because my uncle and aunt that lived there had a little girl about 7 years old, and they worked nights, so they wanted me to stay at their house, so I could babysit because I was like 13 then, you know. So I did that, but I didn't like it there because St. James didn't like Sacred Heart, and I did. You know, there were really rivalries in their games and stuff. So I managed to live through it. And then I got to go back to Sacred Heart for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So I graduated from Sacred Heart just like Mrs. Brickson did.
Yay!
And then I got married and had a family and lived in Fisher.
You want to tell them? I always like your Sacred Heart stories.
Oh, the bad one?
You gotta tell them that one.
I can tell it.
You can tell it.
Don't do this when you get to school, high school. My friend and I skipped school one day. And we'd have an hour off at noon because they didn't serve lunch in school, so we had to go home for lunch. And then there was a store about 3 blocks from school, and it was a place where it was like a soda fountain, you know, they had Sundays and stuff and sold lots of books and magazines. And so we went up there and we kind of hid behind the magazines until all the kids went to school. And then we walked across the bridge and went to the movie.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that was so fun. Until then,
So send-
about 7 o'clock, the phone rang, and I answered the phone.
Oh, no.
This is Sister Mary John. I said, hello, sister. You didn't come to school this afternoon. No, sister. She said, what did you do? I said, I went to the movie. Well, she said, you come into my office and I'll talk to you on Monday morning. That was the longest weekend of my life because I didn't want anybody to know I skipped school, and then I had to tell the truth. I couldn't lie on top of it. So then my friend and I, we went into Sister's office in the morning, and then we were so scared. And then we stood talking to her on her desk, and Peggy, my friend, she put her little finger on top of my little finger, and we got the giggles, and we started, because we were so scared we didn't know what to do. And poor sister, she didn't know what to do with us. But anyway, she told us we shouldn't do that. It's not nice. Then when we got our report cards, our priest, who was a little, he had a, you know, kind of a big tummy, and he was real jolly. And when they'd come in to give us, or he'd come to give our report cards, and he'd call your name, and he'd say, Phyllis Logan. I stood, you had to stand up, and then he'd read your report card, and then
Out loud in front of everybody,
on
guys.
everybody.
It's terrible.
I mean, you know, he'd just comment on, he wouldn't read every grade. Well, he said, you were one of the smart ones that skipped school and got an F on your report card. I said, yes, Father. And I was done, just about falling through the floor. And he said, next time you want a day off, come and see me. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I was so relieved. Boy, I never skipped school again. So that was the baddest thing I ever did that I can remember. And I can't forget it either.
I know. I'm having you tell the story. I think almost every year. So.
Yeah, I tell it every year. I told it one time at Sacred Heart too, and they called and asked me if I'd have something to say about when I went to Sacred Heart. Benji was in high school, then my grandson was in there listening to me.
Oh.
Well, he was such a nice boy, he never would have skipped school, would he, Laura?
Oh, never.
So,
Excellent. Well, hey, you know what? I think we got to thank Phyllis. We have to give Phyllis a big thank you. Woo-hoo! Unfortunately, we have 2 people missing today. Woo-hoo! Thank you very much. And we love you, Phyllis. So, thank you.